Coming up, the IDB conference means more to the country than just this week.
These technical assistance and grant opportunities are not just financial resources, but they are also resources in the form of the best and the brightest of know-how.
ZNS News, again, the only station live tonight at the IDB meeting. Also, a vote could soon impact staffing at BTC.
That is always a concern.
ZNS News with the full breakdown. Also, talking about jobs.
The Department of Labor expanding its services throughout the country. I'll explain coming up in the Bahamas Tonight.
ZNS News, the only station to tell you how. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Finance leaders from 48 countries are here in the capital for the second day of talks at the Inter-American Development Bank's annual general meeting. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. The high-level talks will focus on challenges for Latin America and the Caribbean on issues ranging from the global economic slowdown, private sector investments, energy sector diversification, sustainable urban development, the potential of creative industries, and natural capital as a line of defense against climate change.
Now, many of the Bahamian delegates attending this week's conference aren't only interested in those issues, but how the operations of these international organizations will impact and bolster our economy. Our Altaviz Munnings joins us tonight live from the Bahamas conference room. Good evening to you, Alto.
Good evening, Keishla and Charisma. Yesterday here at the Bahamas Convention Center, we spoke with the IDB's director responsible for the Caribbean, Jerry Butler. He's a Bahamian who's very elated that the Inter-American Development Bank, as well as the Inter-American Investment Corporation, has decided to hold their annual general meetings here in the Bahamas for the very first time. Now, during that interview yesterday, Mr. Butler explained to us the bank's primary operations. He described the IDB as a cooperative with many divisions, and he says the IDB, though, is most noted for its lending program.
But the true beneficiary of the bank is the smaller countries that receive technical assistance and grants. And these technical assistance and grant opportunities are not just financial resources, but they are also resources in the form of the best and the brightest of know-how and technical assistance. The bank is basically set up as a repository of all the intelligentsia and all the opportunities that we as an institution have figured out will work in small economies such as the Bahamas.
Butler pointed out how this year's conference theme, Improving Lives Through Partnership, can relate to the IDB's charter, which focuses on eliminating poverty.
The bank is an entity that focuses on the socioeconomic challenges confronting countries, partners with them to help solve those challenges, and hopefully in the long run what we end up doing is raising the standard of living and closing the inequality gaps that occur in income sectors of the economy.
As the Bahamas hosts this high-level international conference, many local private and public sector stakeholders are attending the sessions too. Among those delegates is Governor of the Central Bank of the Bahamas, John Roll, who pointed out why this conference is important to our economy.
This is an opportunity once more for governments to voice their concern in matters related to climate change and to the role that the IDB, for example, can play in the sort of strategies governments pursue to reduce the risk or reduce their vulnerability to climate change.
And we want to tell you that today's discussions focused on the environment. We can also tell you that Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, led a roundtable discussion with ministers of finance from Argentina, Paraguay, and Argentina. Now, stay tuned to the ZNS Network tomorrow for the official opening of the Inter-American Development Bank and the Inter-American Investment Corporation's Board of Governors meeting. Reporting live from the Bahamas Convention Center, I'm Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks so much, Alto. Despite some developed countries like the U.S. suggesting that the Bahamas be graduated from funding by the Inter-American Development Bank, President Luis Alberto Moreno says he does not share this opinion. A major supporting argument has been that the Bahamas has a higher level of income per capita compared to other countries funded by the bank. Moreno, however, says the majority of shareholders believe countries should not be graduated.
Regardless of the income per capita in a country, there's always problems of poverty and pockets of poverty that need to be dealt with. And we will continue working with the Bahamas as we have been doing in the past. We have a strong office and a strong presence here in the Bahamas.
There's still a lot of uncertainty over job security at the Bahamas telecommunications company as its parent company, Cable and Wireless, is being purchased by a larger conglomerate. Janaea Noel Ferguson talked to BTC CEO about the issue.
Leon Williams, BTC's CEO, says it's expected that a vote will soon take place with shareholders for the full acquisition of Cable and Wireless by Liberty. Cable and Wireless brought BTC from government back in 2011, and last October it was announced that Liberty would purchase CWC shares at $3.5 billion. Although Cable and Wireless has a presence across the Caribbean, the local concern is staffing levels.
Yeah, that is always a concern. There's a vote that will take place, I suppose, in another few days with the shareholders. No one knows what Liberty will do. I really don't have a crystal ball, but I think the assurances are that they will continue in the same path that Cable and Wireless has. So it's not just specific to the Bahamas, but it's really the entire Caribbean because they are buying Cable and Wireless. So it's the entire company.
More than 100 BTC employees were made redundant last year. Williams isn't foreshadowing any drastic cuts as a result of the sale currently in progress. Liberty's presence in the Caribbean is limited, and Cable and Wireless would be an asset to the company, he says.
Liberty has just one presence in the Caribbean. It's in Puerto Rico. And so it's not like they could helicopter in a management crew to manage BTC or to manage Jamaica or to manage Barbados because they don't have a presence here. They're headquartered in Colorado in the United States, and they have no assets in the United States. Most of their assets are in Europe. And so moving forward, the integration is going to take some time.
Williams said while it is still a wait-and-see scenario, they will have to reset the process of company integration.
Keeping in mind that we're almost suffering from integration fatigue because Cable and Wireless would have acquired Columbus and spent almost the last 18 months doing an integration. And now you have to start the process all over again. So senior management at Cable and Wireless has this huge, humongous task of trying to integrate Cable and Wireless into the Liberty portfolio.
Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Well, thanks so much, Janaea. Well, are you looking for a new job? Well, this story may interest you. Officials from the Department of Labor are currently working along with various employers to rebrand its services within the Public Employment Exchange Unit. The aim is to secure jobs for Bahamians using social media and other public relations entities. LaDawn Davis sat down with labor officials to find out what jobs are on the market.
Information distributed by the Bahamas Information Services revealed that there are job vacancies like client assistant, hotel general manager, chief engineers, public relations representatives, air conditioning specialists, and insurance agents currently available for persons who are qualified and experienced. Deputy Director in the Department of Labor, Patrenda Bryce, says while the total number of jobs are still unknown, interested persons must come in and register to be considered.
We are free to the public for both employees and employers, and we're on the ground, physically on the ground, documenting companies we're going to go out and visit. We really look forward to partnering with both the employer side of things as well as the employee side of things, and we hope to do something with the numbers of unemployment in this country, and this is throughout the entire Bahamas.
Now, if you're out of the country and wish to apply online for a vacant job via social media, you can do so by visiting the department's employment page on Facebook. Bryce says so far the online response by applicants has been quite overwhelming.
Online services is limited. That's the reasoning behind us upgrading. You can online register both companies and employees. However, it's somewhat archaic and obsolete at this point. But we recommend you call any of our officers. For employees, you simply have to have your national insurance card and your passport, and we'll take it from there.
Senior Deputy Director Althea Albury says the department will continue to provide additional services to its customers.
So we'll be offering all of the services that we presently offer at head office: conciliation, industrial relations, employment services, inspection. All of that will be available to persons in that area. So there'll be no need to necessarily come to the head office. We'll operate as satellite offices, and we'll be available and accessible to all Bahamians, no matter where they are.
So to accommodate the influx of persons seeking employment, labor officials are expected to open their second substation here in the Carmichael Road area at the end of the month. LaDon Davis, ZNS Network News.